All right, ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, the day you've been waiting for sure. Special delivery. Your solar system is here. Your independence. Yes, indeed. You're going to have your own electricity free from the magnificent sun. Net metering, your battery packs, cabling, you can do it all. And the net metering system, ladies and gentlemen, means you're going to feed electricity and get credit or money back from your electric company, your utility. So we're going to get this unloaded and show you how simple it is to go ahead and put this together at the greatest savings in the United States of America, only at AAN TV. All right, special delivery. And here it is. What we have shrink wrapped for you right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a complete 3.5 kilowatt system. That is a lot. Most people don't realize it, but 1 square meter can generate a kilowatt an hour. That is so much electricity, free energy that the big utilities don't want you to know about. But the secret is out of the bag. Pandora's box has been opened. Millions and billions of dollars are going to be saved. 3.5 kilowatt system right here. We have the solar panels that are coming up to here. So if you want a 5 kilowatt system, just going to be a little bit taller. If you want a 7 kilowatt system, or you can get 3.5, 5.5, and we'll help you discuss that. But everything is on this shrink wrap crate for you. We have the cabling for you, the bracketing for you, the inverter, the modulator, and controller is all right here. Now, you don't have the batteries here, and we're going to be discussing batteries at another segment, but you can use car batteries, RV batteries, golf cart batteries, or the big thing in Texas, ladies and gentlemen, is they're taking the batteries out of like the hybrid cars after they come off lease, because that's going to save you a lot of storage right there. Now, the net metering system, again, ladies and gentlemen, when the electricity comes from the sun through the solar panels into your house, it's going to run whatever appliances you have going, and you probably can't use all that electricity coming into your house, so it's going to go to your batteries. After your batteries are charged up, and let's say you went to work or you only got a few lights on, all that extra electricity is going to be going through the meter back to the utility, your power company, your electric company, which by law they have to pay you in credits or in money. So you have your own electric producing plant right here at the greatest savings in the United States of America. Now let me tell you about the federal tax credit too. This is basically about a $10,000 system. You're going to get 30% tax credit back from the federal government. So $7,000 is all this is basically going to cost you, ladies and gentlemen, plus some freight, and then you can decide on what batteries that you want to use, and we'll help you with that. The delivery, depending on where you are, is going to cost extra, but we have a lot of great resource and references for you to use. But we're going to start taking this apart. We'll show you the controller, the inverter, all the bracketing, the cabling, everything is in this right here. How much money are you going to save over 10, 20 years? It is phenomenal, and you'll be part of the green movement. So without any further ado, we're going to start taking some of this apart. All right, this is exciting. Man. And we have 2 huge containers coming on the way, so we can make multiple different wattage kilowatt systems for you. But in this big box here, we have the controller, the inverter, there's the cabling that's going to do all the cabling for a complete 3.5 kilowatt system. There's the framing right here, the hardware to put it all together. Talk about efficient, money saving, living off the grid, or being on the grid with the net metering system. Multiple solar panels in each one, and we'll keep showing it to you as we go along here, and we're even going to bring you along as we do an install on a roof, and we'll explain all this stuff over and over for you. So keep watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. There it is. The most efficient, the most complete, the simplest, basic, fundamental, but very versatile system you can ever get. Each one of these high tensile strength extruded aluminum frames are individually wrapped as each solar panel, basically pumping out close to 300 watts per panel. The bracketing, instructions, installation guide, too simple.
So my name is Art Krebs, I'm with Construction Art. Today we're going to be installing a 3 kilowatt system on a residential roof. As you can see, this is a shingle roof, it's a 412 pitch, and what we have here is going to be 2 rows of 6 panels each. And we have the panels right there. The first thing we're going to do is the layout, which is pretty much locating exactly where we're going to put the rails. The rails would be anchored to the roof with some special flashing, and what we need to do is we need to find exactly where the trusses are so that we can put some lag bolts through and anchor it. And here in Florida we are up to 150-mile-an-hour wind, so this is a really important point on safety. What we do normally is we take from the edge of the roof 36 inches in, and from the top 36 inches down, and that would be our corner where we start our system. It's really important, a factor on safety, that we maintain ourselves hydrated in the roof, because this sun can be dangerous if you're not continuously drinking and taking breaks. So don't think that we are taking breaks because we're lazy.
Yeah, it's Florida style. Also, it's a good idea to wear a hat, sunglasses, if you will. Now, this is 24 on center supposedly, but sometimes it can be off a little bit during the construction process. Now, there's different ways that you can line out your lateral lines. You could use a chalk line, but when you have a shingle roof, it's not necessary because it's usually going to be nice and even. But we'll measure our corners out from the bottoms to the tops, make sure that we are square, but it looks very square, and the shingles are dimensional shingles, so as you can see, the pattern is right. And since we do have a flat roof on the back side here, there is room to expand it, but it makes it safe for us. If you have a 5, 6, 12 pitch roof, you probably want to have a safety harness.
Right. In this situation, since we have nowhere to fall, because we have a continuing flat roof, we're safe. But obviously, when we're on the edge, we have to be very careful. That's the reason why we set a pattern of not walking too close to the edge. So the next step really is to make the measurements to ensure that we have the right corners. The first corner from the top of the roof itself, we are going to mark 36 inches. And this is this way. 36 inches marks our point right here. And then if we mark from the edge, that's another 36 inches. So this would be our actual corner point for the modules right here and for the railing right here. So when we're going to be looking for the trusses, it's going to be on this specific horizontal line, because we basically put in between the panels a distance of about 16 inches from the top, that's where we put the rail, and from the bottom up. Now over here we have the actual footing. So this is exactly what we're going to be using as a footing and a flashing, so that we don't have any water penetration into the house. The way this works is once we locate the truss, we will drill a pilot hole. Let's say, for example, if it was right here, we would drill a pilot hole, and then we will insert the flashing underneath the shingles all the way to the top. So when the water runs down, it will never have any possibility of getting into our pilot hole. It also has on the bottom this piece here that will protect the roof from getting any penetrations, as well as gaskets here, and as well as gaskets that will make sure that this is the foot, that the foot also gets weatherproofed, so there's no water intrusion. Now the tedious part is to find the trusses and make the pilot holes, because the solar system, just on the first year, depending on the size, it might produce for you $3,600, which at the end of the day is a money maker. And that's exactly why solar should be looked at a different way, not as a cost, but as an investment and a value. Not only will it produce money on the energy side, but it also increases the value of your property, about $4 per watt installed. And that is a quote from the Lawrence Berkeley National Labs. And there's quite a bit of studies that basically tell you what are the benefits of solar. So this rail system here has the benefit that it also acts as a fire barrier, and that's a new requirement from code. The shape of this rail basically does not allow the fire to expand out from the area somehow. The engineering they made it that it would restrict the spread of the fire. If it wasn't this type of rail, then you would have to put a shield on the bottom of the array, a metal shield like a fender, to keep the fire from spreading. But this takes care of that. The other thing, the way that this attached to the tail foots that we saw before is with a heavy-duty bolting system that goes into this section here, attached with obviously everything stainless steel with a lock nut. That way we put them in there. Once we have the rails up and fastened, then we put the panels on them.
All right, well that sounds very good. Different rail systems, and this seems to be the best rail system for a shingle roof with the U shape. And in case there ever is a fire, these new rail systems are to make it where the fire doesn't spread, but that's a very, very, very rare occurrence. And we do have a gap underneath the roof. It also shades the home from solar gain, meaning you don't have direct sunlight on your roof. There's a gap under the panels, so there's a bit of an airflow. So in addition to giving you free energy, it is also insulating the home from direct solar gain. And it gives it's going to save you on air conditioning again too. You see you got about a 4-inch gap here. Your roof's shaded, yet you still have the airflow. So you're not getting the solar gain off direct sunlight, especially on a darker roof or an asphalt roof or a metal roof. Our next install is going to be on a metal roof. We'll have that DVD pamphlet coming out very soon.
So we're gonna create two arrays, two strings in this array. The first one would be the first 6 panels on top, and the second one would be the 6 panels on the bottom. We're gonna call it string A, the top, maybe A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and string B on the bottom, B1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, obviously. So we're gonna connect positive on this end and negative on that end, and then bring those 2 wires down to the inverter through the conduit, which is in progress.
So then we have 2 positives, one running off each of these, and then 2 negatives. So we have 4 wires running down. And we've drilled a hole in this roof and put a $15 boot on it down to our inverter.
Drill. The drill and drill. You know what? I left it too small.
Now we're installing a 2-part ground from our top series and our bottom series, and then we'll run, what is that, number 10 gauge copper?
Hello. So right now we're going to look at the inverter side of the system. This is a Growatt 3600 watt inverter, which is transformerless. So it does require that all the wiring come up from the panels themselves are actually PV wire. You have to use PV wire, direct connection into the inverter. This right here is where you land all your connections from the solar system in the roof. We have 2 strings. We have 2 strings, A and B. So we have one string on this side being negative and positive, and we have string B negative and positive. So right now, if we look at the measurements on the meter, we will see, and let's put it onto a DC mode, and I don't know if we have a Vanna to hold it. I need 3 hands. Leo,
Leon,
just hold it here so he can see the numbers. So right now, if we put the meter on string A, we can see that it's producing
196.7.
right, and it's a little
97.3. There you go.
that's volts, and it's because there's clouds on the sky right now. Now let's go to the other string and see what it's producing.
And here comes the sun.
And it should be a little higher.
211.
There we go. So that's the voltage that's coming from the solar system above.
And it is critical that you make sure before you turn on your system that you have it wired right on this, because if you have it reversed coming off the panels, it can fry this inverter system.
Correct.
It's a transformerless.
That's right, and there's no fuses between the system and the inverter because it's transformerless. Now this piece here is the monitoring system, and it's a dongle that is a Wi-Fi device. So once we commission the system and it's up and running, it'll be powered and it will send a signal that can be picked up by your computer via Wi-Fi, so that you can monitor exactly what your production is, and you should be able to set some alerts at a certain thresholds that you may want.
So people will be able to monitor it if they're at work on their computer, their laptop, inside the home. If you're on vacation, the babysitter's here, you can see what your system's doing. It does all kinds of really cool stuff.
Right, and if we have a commercial system, we can actually configure a display that we can put on the wall, maybe at a lobby of a business, so the clientele can see that they have green energy and see exactly what's going on live on that system.
Can you program it to come on and off or divert power at different peak times if you wanted to?
If you had a battery system, you could do that.
Yes.
Yeah, you can basically, as you know, our electric bill has many variables, and sometimes they charge you a higher rate at peak times during the day. So what you can do is you can store your energy produced and program it, so instead of injecting it to the grid constantly, it only gets injected at certain times. So if you inject it at the time that you are being charged peak rate, then your bill would be minimized at a maximum capacity.
And using a hybrid system is the most awesome way to go, right?
Yes, that's the wave of the future. So eventually every home should have a battery system, which we call energy storage system, so that we can utilize our energy the way that we want. In the case, for example, if there's a blackout, or maybe there's a storm, or you know, hurricane, which we hope doesn't happen anytime soon, you would be able to have energy and not necessarily depend on if you had a generator, diesel or gas that you have to go buy at the gas stations, and you know those lines can get pretty long, and sometimes you don't even get any gas. So at the end of the day you are without power. But with this system you will always have power, because there's always going to be sun.
Well, even when it's cloudy, you're still getting some solar through it.
Correct.
And with you, if you do have your battery system, every night you can be using that energy too. As
well. And
so it's definitely the way to go.
And the solar system works, and it will produce energy as long as there's enough light so that your eyes can see. When it's totally pitch black and you cannot see with your own eyes, it's not producing. But if you have like a full moon and you can see through your eyes at night, that system is producing.
So we've showed you upstairs how we connect everything and the lines come down. Now we do have a ground line that comes into our inverter box. The wiring comes down into our inverter box. We have a switch right here to turn it off. It comes back out, and then for safety, of course, you want one of these. You have your disconnect, which runs right back into the wall, into your power panel where we have a 30 amp breaker, so that you can turn it off if you want to service it or check on it or not use it. You can turn it off either here, right here, and what about that switch right there?
This is called the DC disconnect. So basically the wires that we're bringing from the roof that are landing at that bus bar basically are being controlled with this switch. So if I turn this on, then the juice from the solar panels will go to the inverter and be converted into AC, which will end up coming out this way to the grid. This is an AC disconnect which is connected to the breaker at the AC panel. And this would be changed to a solar net meter, which will be able to read the difference between what you're producing and what you're using.
And we'll demonstrate that here in a little bit.
Yes.
We'll be able to see it actually slow down.
That's right.
Or maybe reverse.
Or maybe reverse. I think we lost a screw that was here.
What's it look like? The black screw.
Like that one?
Okay. There's a ground pipe.
Run rod. See, you want to throw this away.
You rub your hand on the ground and shit.
Well, that sucks.
Tell him he needs to come back and do that.
And signing off, we passed the inspection.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. You might not want to be on television, so won't film your face.
Yeah, I don't really want to do it.
St. Petersburg.
Partial to anybody or
Yeah.
they don't want us to do that.
Yeah.
So when are you going to get solar in your house?
I do want to do that eventually, one of these days. Yeah. I mean,
So
first
right
I got to
now-
get a new roof. My roof is shot, so
Got you.
you don't want to put it on top of an old roof.
You gotta take this tool to disconnect it. And you gotta put it on here, push it down, and then pull out.
Too easy.
Connect it, take that off, take it, make sure it clicks,
Nice click all the way in.
And you're good to go.
and it's good to go.
One of the last things you do, right?
That's right.
This is the last step, because you want to check and double check and maybe even triple check that all your positives on positive, negative on negative.
Correct.
And the last thing to do is energize it to your home.
Commission the system now. First thing we do is we turn the AC on. And now we got AC going into the inverter. And then we're gonna turn the DC on. And we see right now that it's telling us its serial number, model. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Connect 285. It's going through a cycle. It has to cycle first before it switches on. But so far it looks like everything is like it's supposed to be. It has 112 seconds, 11 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. It's telling us a retro count, and hopefully
3, 2, 1.
there we go, waiting. Then we got the voltages. Waiting. Connect OK. Power is producing power now. It's varying.
Wow, look at that power climb.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. What, 1800, 2000, 2100?
That's right.
Wow.
That's in a few seconds. So imagine how much
Wow.
power we will produce with this thing.
And it's partly cloudy.
That's right.
Partly cloudy, and we're within 10 seconds we're up to now 2662 volts. Wow, awesome. And look at the meter here. It's not using any electric from the power company now.